Dr. Niruma, you are ready?
Yes.
So she is speaking on board ergonomics or tube mutant incision in MSICS.
Good morning, everyone. And I would like to thank AIOC and ISMSIS for giving me this opportunity. No financial interest in this presentation. So to talk about the 2 millimeter incision with back cuts, let us go ahead with the physics of the procedure. If you look at this figure on the right down, you will see that there is an elastic lamina and a surface. The elastic lamina is the surface of the tunnel, and the roof of the tunnel and the surface is the bed of the sclera, through which you will be creating the entire tunnel from the cornea as well as the sclera. So here in the object 1 is your vectis, and object 2 is the nuclear fragment that will occupy the space of the tunnel as you are delivering through it. And it is denoted by the alphabet small d, that is the height. So in order to create this, we actually create a 2 millimeter incision 1.5 millimeter behind the limbus and place 1.5 millimeter back cuts on either sides of the incision. Now you can see that the inner lip, that is the corneal entry, I have marked it as 3 to 6 millimeter, because there is a possibility that when you enter, you may inject a foldable IOL with a 3 or 2.8 millimeter incision into the cornea, or you can also expand it to almost 5.5 millimeter PMMA implantation. So by Hooke's law, we know that in an elastic material, when the stress is within the proportional limit, the membrane will return back to its original length when the objects are out of the tunnel. But when it crosses that, the elastic limit, it will try to fracture or reach the breaking point. So in this situation, the cornea is the plastic region and the elastic region is your sclera. So we'll take advantage of the elastic region in this procedure. So these are some of Dr. Sahu's modified instruments, and I would like to bring to your notice that Dr. Sahu's modified vectis with a 2.8 millimeter hanging edge is one of the most wonderful instruments that will help you to deliver the fragmented nucleus through the incision. So let us go ahead with the video. So I have marked a 2 millimeter incision from 1.5 millimeter behind the limbus. So you have to notice here that this is a 2 millimeter curved incision and not a complete inverted U incision. The 1.5 millimeter incisions are placed on the edges. This is done because as the incision is very small in size and you are behind the cornea, so what happens is that as you go behind backwards, downwards, the restoring force or the stress on the membrane also increases. In order to avoid that during the delivery of the nucleus, you cannot increase the thickness of the roof, that is the scleral wound. So what else can you do? You can actually create pockets on either side without tearing the main incision, that is the 2 millimeter incision. So you go ahead with this 2 millimeter incision, and then now you make an entry. The entry should be a little diagonal so that you don't tear the incision. So here I'm planning for a 5.5 millimeter PMMA optic, so I have gone ahead with almost a 6 millimeter or 5.5 millimeter optic. There are different methods of doing a phaco-fracture. Here I am using an irrigating flattened visco-tip cannula, and while doing so, I am injecting the visco during the delivery. So as you can see, there's a little stretch on the tunnel, but because it is well within the elastic limit, so the pulling out of the nucleus is easy through this 2 millimeter incision with the back cuts. So even the PMMA IOL is easily implanted through this tunnel. Now, when you analyze this, why are we doing this? You can see that the stress is denoted by the Pythagoras theorem, where K is the constant and delta L is the change in the length of the tunnel. So when there is a change in the length of the tunnel, that is your corneal entry is around 3 millimeter or 5.5 millimeter, but your scleral incision is 2 millimeter. That means you are going down, you are tapering down the incision more and more farther downwards. So what happens here is the stress force that is acting on per square millimeter of area, the restoring force keeps on increasing, and the tensile strength on the edges of the wound is more. So in order to decrease the stressing force, you have to expand it or you have to increase the thickness. Here we cannot increase the thickness in all the patients. So what we do is that we create the pockets on either side in order to decrease this stress or the restoring force on the membrane. So now coming up to the nucleus, if the nucleus is, you have fragmented or bisected the nucleus, the restoring force will also depend on the height, that is the the vectors that you are using and the fragment of the nucleus. So as the height increases, the restoring force also increases. So since the stress on the scleral membrane is more near the smaller incision, you have to break the nucleus into smaller fragments. If it is a harder nucleus, make a trisection using a snare. The minimum length of therefore, the minimum length of the tunnel and the maximum size of the nuclear piece and the minimum thickness of the scleral membrane should be such that it is well below the elastic limit. Now, there is an analysis where you can pull the vectis horizontally. But if you pull the vectis horizontally, what happens is the acceleration with which the nuclear piece, and now it is sticking to the vectis, with which it is pulled, the force will be more. So if you increase the force, you will actually slip the nuclear fragment from the vectis. So here, W1 and W2 is the weight of both the vectis, as both the objects, that is the vectis and the nuclear fragment, and 2T sine alpha is the vertical component on both sides of the incision. And the cos alpha or the horizontal components are negated here. So for force which is less than this, the nucleus piece will not be able to overcome the friction and the membrane will tear up. So what you have to do is that you have to pull the vectis at an angle, a slightly more angle, that is you have to lift it up a little and then pull, so that the nuclear fragment remains in the center of the tunnel and it is easier to overcome the frictional force with the tunnel above, as well as you can utilize the cushioning effect of the sclera below. So the correct technique is to put a 1.5 millimeter back incisions, create the pockets, and it would be incorrect if you tend to do it only with a 2 millimeter incision. So we know that this gives good results in terms of astigmatism and also wound healing and the